Hey everyone, welcome to this week's show. I am your commissioner and champion, Team Ramrod. With me, former GM of Team Rocket and friend of the show, fan of the show, Kyle.
Hello.
We got some interesting results, but first, it's the weekly brag about how barely any of you have ever got your name on this trophy. This is season 10, and we only had five different champions. Was that wrong? That's six different champions. Apologies. I would have got corrected on that anyway from Stat Guy. But yeah, six different champions. I always forget that Mark was even a thing.
Mark who?
Yeah. We
I've,
never
I've
seen
never
him.
seen that. I've never seen that guy's face before.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get into the talk about last week's results. I know people love seeing these results, so it's time to face the music here. First matchup, the Champion Team Ramrod. Um, Narrowly defeated by adultery, second week in a row. That Team Ramrod loses by +1. Um, People are going to say, oh, you can't blame injuries, blah, blah, blah. But I can blame injuries, and I'm going to. Um, because let's face it, a healthy team both weeks versus a guy who had three or four injured players on his roster. And I'm not talking about just any injured players. Last week was McDavid. This week it was Matthews and Stone later in the week. These are significant players. Easily could have got me a plus and defeated Daltrey. But good for him. Big win for him. Um, but this is not indicative of his team being a top powerhouse, in my opinion. Not compared to Le Champion. We'll see what happens when I'm healthy later on this year and we play Adultery. You're not gonna sneak by with a little victory, but I still know what you did to Matthews. I know you went to Boston. You had your agents there and sabotaged him. I don't know what you did to Stone on Friday night. Mysterious lower body injury, but it's all right. It's all right. We'll play again later this year and we'll see what happens. Kyle, you got anything to say about this matchup?
No surprise here. I picked Daltrey to win. You've been struggling with injuries. Uh, I'm surprised it was as close as it was, but Jesus Christ, Hellebuck is something else. Um, Daltrey put up good, well, decent goaltending numbers. 4 wins, 144 saves, nothing to scoff at. But I mean, look at you. Two shutties, 6 wins, 1.32 GAA, a 957 save percentage. Fuck, like Helly is on his way to being MVP of the league this year if he keeps this up. That Winnipeg team is just unbelievable. Um, Daltrey is showing that he is a powerhouse in this league. Obviously, you have your injuries, Shane, and I can appreciate that. And you know, going up against a tough team like Daltrey, you want to have your team at full strength here. But yeah, I maintain Daltrey is a powerhouse in this league. He got off to an unlucky start, and I think he's going to continue his winning ways.
I will say, talk about my goalies. They won all six games that they played this week. My goalies were unbelievable. I went 6 starts. I won every single one. Only one game where they let more than one goal, and that was Bobrovsky let in two in one game. They were unbelievable this week. That's big part of my team. Um, but yeah, I will say this, guys, for all you doubters about Le Champion, because I know you're all out there, you love it. Last season. I went 3-2-1 in the first 6 weeks to start, and we all know how that ended. As you see me sitting here with the title, the trophy, the rings. Um, Rough start. Same thing last year, injuries. My team will get through it. I'm going to bounce back easily, and I'm going to make it very, very difficult for someone to dethrone me this season. I'm going for that three-peat. But Daltrey, take the points where you get them. You got the win. We'll see what happens in what, like week 16, 17, 18, whatever, whenever we play again. We're going to play again later. We'll see what happens then. See what state our teams are in by then.
Yeah, week 20.
Week 20. You heard it right here. Week 20, buddy. You're mine. Dumpster fire. Now this was a shock to me. There were enough upsets this week. Maybe some of you don't consider that last match of an upset. Kyle doesn't. I personally do, but dumpster fire beating Dan, even though I think Dan's not going to make the playoffs in the end. Out of all the teams again that made it last year, the big teams, I can't believe that he lost the mark. So I'm going to say this is an upset. Kyle, what happened here?
Mark's team just came out to play. He came out to win, man. His team was firing on all cylinders. 16 goals, plus 21, 115 shots on goals, and then very impressive goalie numbers. 4 wins, a 1.00 GA, a shutout, 962 save percentage. Uh, yeah, he just kind of just beat Dan with a stick here. Dan didn't really have a chance. Dan had a decent week, but when you're going up against those kind of numbers, they're hard to overcome. And Mark got production from across his whole lineup, so that really helped him this week.
I think what's been really good for him, he gave up Barkov, but he got Ehlers back, and Ehlers has been on fire. Like we said earlier, that Jets team is just on another level right now, and they are all producing. So big move for Mark. Yeah, you lost Barkov. You got Ehlers in return, but you also got all that draft capital. So
Yeah, it was
propelled
also
him to
a
victory.
it was also a big week for Toronto, right? He got
Toronto had
three
a good
wins from
week.
his yeah, three wins from his Toronto goalies. We talk about how he is like MVP of the league. Who's the second best goalie in the league right now? Stolars, and he's sitting on Mark's team. So that's a big plus for Mark right now.
While we're talking about the best goalie in the league, being Helly, I just wanted to remind everyone, Kyle likes to brag about Reinhardt being the top player in fantasy, but he was dethroned this week by Hellebuck himself. So I just want to thank Sean for donating him to Team Ramrod. I know you're a longtime supporter, Sean. Thank you. You believe in the cause. But great win for Mark. I did not think he stood a chance really, and I'm not super impressed by Dan's team overall. I think I've been very vocal about that, about how out of all the playoff teams last year, aside from Travis, because he doesn't fucking count, that he'd be the one that would miss. That's just my thoughts. And for him to lose to get to Mark, I think hopefully that's a wake up call for Dan, and he gets his ass in the gear here and changes something. But good on Mark for stealing a couple of points in a matchup that no one believed in him except for himself. Everyone loves Raymond, currently in the running for the Caucasaurus, sitting in 16th place after narrowly losing to Forgot About Dre. Dre picking up his third straight win. What happened here, Kyle?
Yeah, this was a nail biter of a match. Very surprising. Dre didn't have a really good week, but Derek had a decent week for Derek, and that made it close. He came from behind to squeak out this victory, and I think the big thing is that even though he won goaltending stats, he didn't really get too much out of his goaltending. Talking about Dre here, but like with Derek, he's got 68 shots on goal, and that's been like a pretty good running average for him. 68 shots on goal isn't going to cut it, you know, uh, week after week. You're going to lose that category, but sometimes we all have a category where we just don't compete in. Um, but Derek did put up like 15 power play points, which is pretty good. 25 assists, that's really good. Plus 11 is a good week. But really, the story here is that Dre's goaltending outdid him, even though he didn't have like a spectacular goaltending week.
Yeah, I think we all expected Dre to win this, but I didn't expect it to be this close. Just by the way Derek's team has been performing, it's good that his team is performing all of a sudden, and maybe he climbs his way out of the basement here. I don't think it'll happen this week, but we'll talk about that later. Um, but I think if he gets a few favorable matchups in the next little bit, he he's not going to end in the basement. He might even turn it around. Who knows? But he put up a really good fight against a good team. So good on him. He didn't get the points, but his team seems to be trending in the right direction now that Swayman's settling in.
Yeah.
Mentally bedarded, taking down Patches O'Hooligan. Patches O'Hooligan was once sitting near the top of the standings, last week when we're what, week four, 4 weeks in. He was sitting at the top, but his selling ways seem to be hurting him now. Mentally bedarded coming out and taking the win. Kyle, what happened here?
Yeah, Kyle seems to have been hot and cold, and this week they were hot, and they easily took down Patches because Patches' team did not show up to play at all. Um, and so yeah, this was an easy win for Kyle, um,
Easy.
because
You heard that, Nick. Easy.
it was like you look at Patches' numbers for this week, not impressive. Got a couple of goaltending points, but saves. He won with an 8.85 save percentage. That's not really that great, and he won with a
Pathetic.
+1. Although he had 9 goals and 4 of them were game winners. Stop hogging them, Nick.
No, good. Big win for Bedarded. He's a guy that what I consider one of those middle teams. He'll flirt with the playoff chase here at the bottom of the playoff brackets, but he's a team that could miss, could make it. That's how I peg him. That's how we finished last year, right? He snuck into the playoffs into the eighth seed. Was it eighth? I think it was eighth.
Yeah,
Uh,
it was 8.
he
Yeah,
went eighth. He snuck in on the as the eighth seed. Um, I feel like his team is middle ground, but he has a chance to win it at least that way, right? So he's a little bit better than trash. He's like those golden trash cans you see.
where are these golden trash cans that you're seeing?
I see them online all the time in memes about trash people. They get the golden trash can. Like, oh,
Hmm.
look, this is the best of the trash. And you know what? Kyle's in contention for the best of the trash. So good on you, buddy. You're improving your base. I like that the pickup of Ingram. So you're helping your team go in the right direction. Who knows? Maybe you prove me wrong and you'll finish higher in the standings. It's not impossible. But that's where I peg you at. Pure ass taking down the Braden bye week. Handed Braden his first loss. Did you notice that this was the first Sunday he was very quiet in the chat?
Super weird,
Super weird
right?
how that happens. You know? Hmm. Anyway,
Hmm.
what happened here?
You know what? They both had a mediocre week, but Casey was a little more mediocre than Braden. Uh, Braden really didn't do much. It was his first bad week, and he took his first loss to pure ass.
Yeah, he's been quiet about it. This guy's been running his mouth for weeks about how he's going to be the next champion. He loses a match and says not a word. Not a good look, buddy. But good on Casey getting the win. I was the only one who predicted that win. But we'll get to, I guess we'll talk about the predictions briefly now, where our highest was Kyle and Kyle at 4 out of 8. And then Corey and I with a measly 2 of 8. So our
Ooh,
predictions have not been strong, so maybe don't listen to everything we say.
definitely not. I
But
would not take my advice.
big win for Casey though. I knew you could do it, buddy. But I am disappointed that it's not me wiping that smile off of Braden's face. But it was going to happen eventually. Two mediocre teams showing us why they're mediocre and putting up mediocre numbers. Maybe one will bounce back next week. Who knows? I know his Dallas guys are probably off to a good start after last night's killing of the Penguins, but Sauce Pass didn't want to show his face tonight to face the music about Neil. That's not true. Something came up. Corey was unable to join us, but taking another loss at the hands of Neil. What happened here, buddy?
Neil's been on fire. He seems I don't want to say unstoppable, but yeah, Neil's been consistently good every week. Players and goalies too. Corey didn't have a bad week. He put up some decent numbers, but Neil's been strong, and I think Corey and I were wrong about Neil's team, unfortunately for us. So that moves Neil into first, doesn't it?
He is in first place.
He's first place, and I bet he's loving it. Uh, yeah, so good job, Neil. And again, 5 game winning goals. You could share with the rest of us. Okay, it's nice to share.
Well, my matchup, we each had three.
Yeah.
So we're hogging a
Uh,
little bit too. Neil is in first place. That's a spot I would not want to be because first place never wins this league. You want to be at the top of the standings, but Neil, my advice, drop down a little bit because that first place team, like I don't know if it's just
it's
coincidence,
cursed.
but they never win. They never win. I think Nick was the only one who won as the first place seed,
That
and he
is
had to
correct.
try to do it.
Yeah. So did he really win? He tied to win.
Yeah.
It's the first place team has not outright won.
That's a spot I wouldn't be too comfortable in. But good on you, Neil. Big win. These guys didn't like your team at the start of the year. I had faith in your team. I thought you were one of the top tier teams. Just your forwards are going to produce, and your one goalie that you kept is a good goalie. Now, if Freddie comes back for the playoffs, that'll be perfect for you. Trust me, I know how he rolls. But big win for Neil. Rough loss for Corey, again, who finds himself dropping in the standings. He hasn't yet to find some real consistency this year. But Neil still running away here, only having that one loss. The matchup that we really want to talk about. Now, I did invite Travis, but he never got back to me about joining us tonight because we didn't record on Monday night like we were originally going to. So I did message him, but he never answered in time. So he missed his opportunity to face the former GM of Team Rocket. Kyle, what happened here?
Yeah, it's one of those things where you run your mouth just to make the show and the chat a little more interesting, and you just put your foot right in your fucking mouth, and and that's exactly what I did. I ate my fucking words, and I took a beating this week from Travis, Scorchers. I took a beating from him in fucking football, and I'm probably going to take a beating from him in elite hockey because I play him this week. So I'm prepared to eat crow here, I guess. But yeah, I think the story here is Travis got great goaltending this week. He got 5 points on goaltending, and that was enough to put me away. Uh, I didn't get the production that I wanted. I had 8 players going Sunday. Like I'm just like somebody just score a fucking goal. You know those days where you're like, I got 8 guys versus his two. I should be able to like take the goal category. I was behind him by one, but nobody scored a fucking goal. And then I ended up losing plus minus. I got one winner all week. So the hockey gods weren't in my favor. They probably did not appreciate my trash talk of Travis. Having said that, we say shit on here just to make it a little more lively. But I just want to say, fuck you, Mark. Nobody gives a fuck about Sean. Who the fuck is Sean to join this league? I might be a former GM, but we're not giving my spot to Sean. We haven't even seen your fucking face. Who the fuck is
Is he
Sean? We
real?
already
Is
we already
Mark
have a
real?
Sean.
We already
We
have
don't
him.
even. What's that?
We already have one. One shot is too many.
One Sean's too many. I got Sean this week. Fuck Sean and fuck Sean number two. We have a long list of people to join this amazing league. Why the fuck are we bringing your friend in? Yeah, so you tell your friend Sean he can go fuck himself.
That seemed to strike more of a nerve with you than the loss to Travis. Is that Marcus tried to find your replacement right away?
uh,
You
yeah,
know
I
what
don't
though?
mind losing to
Travis
Travis.
was fired up for this matchup ever since like week one podcast. You call this team trash, and he was fired up. He's been marking this on his calendar. We all know he has nothing else going on right now. He's just waiting for this. He's at home just waiting to fight you. And he got the better of you. A Blackwood 45 save shutout on Sunday didn't help you. Uh,
Oh fuck no! Like that took the saves away from me. You got the shutout point. It's just like what could go wrong did go wrong.
it's one of those weeks. Good for you, Travis. Trying that you're actually in ninth, almost in a playoff spot with your shit team. I don't know what that says about the rest of the league. But maybe you're just getting lucky. I feel by the end of the year you're still gonna have a bad team, but you might not have the worst team. And I thought you wanted that golden cock. Travis will be quick to add too that Mitchkov was a healthy scratch for 2 games, so you're probably going to hear about that a little bit. Sean, I picked you to win, but I'm not upset that you lost. Domo picking up a victory. These are two guys that I really could care less which one wins. They're two guys that I just love to see out of the playoff picture. So either way, I was happy. Kyle, what happened here?
Yeah, it's a close matchup, but Sean's players didn't. They're only able to take one category. He did get five goaltending categories, which is what really made it close. But Domo, as per usual, dominating the player categories, able to get those 7 points. There's a couple categories that are tied or by one. So this is a really, really tight matchup. Actually, I was kind of surprised how close it was.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't really follow this one too much. I seen that the score was close, but I didn't really check into this one because to me, either way, I was happy. One of them was gonna lose, and that puts a smile on my face. So it looked like it would the worst thing that would have happened is they both got a point and tied. So I'm glad Domo stepped up and knocked Sean down a little. 15th place now for Sean. That's where I like to see him. Maybe we see a Sean Golden Cock season. Maybe that's a
That
possibility.
would be amazing.
We'll put the name Hellebuck on there for him.
uh, well, we can only pray.
Some interesting results though last week, boys. So it just shows you how tight the league actually is. Teams that no one's expecting to win some matches are coming out winning. So let's keep that going. I love the state of this league. I know I'm running my mouth a lot this year, and I do all the time. But sometimes you got to bring out the positive too. And the state of this league is great right now. Everyone's active. Even Derek, it's football season and Derek is active. So we got some trades to talk about here. Let's see what we got here. Lion, and I think, well, this was an actual trade. I think this was just for a goalie start, but it wasn't on a Sunday, so we'll talk about it. Lion for Fedotov. I think it's when Lion went injured. Travis is like, I need a goalie for the week. And he went and picked up a Flyers goalie, which isn't usually recommended. But he made a deal with Casey for a pickup grade. Um, Anything to say about this one, Kyle?
Nothing really. I'm not even sure if Fedotov started in our week. I'd have to look that up.
He started in
But
one game. They had a back-to-back.
yeah, I mean, it helped put him over for saves. So I mean, it worked out for Travis. Good move for Travis. Helped secure the win.
Pickup grade means nothing to me. Like, okay, whatever. Injured goalie for a goalie to get a start. Good for you. Good move for you, Travis. Using that draft capital. Rittich finally moved. Corpusalo. Rittich in a 12th going to Travis, and Corpusalo and a 10th going to Neil. What you got to say about this one?
Uh, Pretty even trade. Yeah, it's not bad. But
Too high.
Is Riddick starting in LA?
No, Kemper's still been starting.
Yeah, I find the rounds for backup goalies a bit weird in this one, but uh, sure.
Riddick could take over, but right now they seem to be leaning on Kemper, even though he had a couple bad games.
Yeah, yeah, you got a shutout this week.
This one just looks like a player pickup. This is a Sunday. This is an ad drop essentially. Wenberg, Domo won that extra man game, so a pickup grade for Mark. Mark capitalized on using all three of his ads for pickups this week. This one, Soderblom. I don't know why Travis picked him up. He wasn't confirmed. He wasn't even expected, but there wasn't a lot of goalies on the wire that might have got the start. So he's like, I'm going to grab him. And he picked him up, and he didn't even start. And then he left him in his lineup, so he couldn't make a trade for a goalie that was starting, which we'll talk about later quickly. So rookie move here by Travis, but he wasn't the only one. Bertuzzi was just an ad drop. Again, we're not gonna really go into too much detail with that. Foligno was just a body. Um, Dre set himself up. He was pretty comfortable. He moved the guy out who was playing a man game out for a guy who's having 4 games this week. I don't think he liked the results, because I believe he dropped him, or maybe that was in Elite. I saw his name drop pretty quick.
Yeah.
That was just a man game. Another man game one. Nick was trying hard to move Monahan. He cold offered me a Monahan deal. The only problem is I didn't have the space for him. So no, I went with my free ad drop instead, and elected to go that route. But Sean did help Sean. But it was a man game thing. Nick was just trying to get something for a guy he didn't really want on his team anymore. Good move. Trade was canceled because this happened. This went through after the game started, originally. Um, and then they couldn't redo the trade because Travis had left Soderblom in the starting spot, so he didn't have a goalie spot for him. I'm also told the other person that was really interested in Tarasov, because Tarasov was getting the start and Nick was trying to move him, was Braden, and they also started the player that they wanted to trade.
Yeah, so I also had an offer in for Tarasov, and but Nick didn't respond in time, so I had to cancel the trade because my player was starting. So I canceled the trade, and then we finally came to an agreement pretty much 3 minutes before game time. And I'm not executing this trade because like, okay, if you agree with it, like I don't know if you're able to process that trade within 3 minutes and get him in the starting lineup. Like
The risk.
it was too slow. And at that point, I'm just gonna leave my hands to the leave the game in the hands of the hockey god at this point. Um, so he ended up dropping Tarasov shortly afterwards. He missed out on getting a pickup grade for a nothing goalie, but there was nobody available, and everybody needed a goalie start.
He
And
waited late to do it.
yeah,
This is a move that should have been made if he was looking to move him. He had to start. He should have been able to come up with a deal somewhere. I know he was hoping that Tarasov was getting the start, but he's also hoping Dostal got the start. And when Gibson was confirmed, which was a late confirmation, um, that kind of fucked his week, and he had to make a decision.
okay, yeah, scene.
But
Um,
it was obvious Gibson was getting the start. Dostal started 5 in a row, had got lit up in the last three. The kid needed a rest. Even if it's his crease right now, kid needs a rest. You
yeah,
just activate Gibson, he's going to start. This should have been like, he should have made this deal earlier in the day, knowing that, in my opinion.
I agree. He missed out on an opportunity to dump a waiver wire and get actual like capital for waiver wire trash.
Yep. All right, let's talk about this week. We're making really good time. We're going to get it all out in one video, it looks like. Because we still have
Fantastic.
at least over 10 minutes. We haven't hit that 10-minute mark. I know it's probably soon, but you know, a rare one-parter. Let's talk about this first matchup. The Champion, Team Ramrod, 2-2-1 right now, taking on the 1-3-1. Everyone loves Raymond. Kyle, who do you have?
Uh, for the first time in 3 weeks, I'm going to pick you.
How kind.
All right.
I
I'm a
have
generous
Kyle's
god.
blessing. Former GM of Team Rocket gave me his blessing. I'm also, oh, there's our 10-minute warning. I'm also going to pick Team Ramrod. I can give you the obvious reasons that I just love my team and I think I'm the best. Um, but I've proven I'm the best. So I'm going to keep going with Team Ramrod until someone dethrones me. I'm gonna even if I lose a bunch of matches, I'm gonna still think I'm the best because I'm still the champ. Still better than you. And Derek, I am going to beat you. Dumpster Fire taking on Daltrey. Who do you got here?
Yeah, and again, I think Daltrey is one of the strongest teams in this league. I'm going to go with Daltrey. He's finally going to hit that 500 mark.
I mean, this should be an easy win for Daltrey. I'm going to agree with you there. The wild card is the goalies. If Mark's goalies play like they did last week, I he could steal a victory here. I'm not saying that that's my prediction, but there is a path to victory for Mark this week, and that's going to be
Yeah,
on the back of his Toronto duo. Um, but
yeah,
I think Daltrey should take this.
yeah, for sure. And some of Daltrey's losses came on the back of other people's goaltending being like super hot, so it's definitely a possibility.
Well, I should tell him something that he has a weakness.
Well, I don't think it's a weakness in Daltrey. Like that one week, somebody had like a 970 save percentage. Like, what are you going to do about that? You know what I mean? Like even Daltrey last week had a great goaltending week against you, but Hellebuck, you know?
Not just Hellebuck. All
Yeah.
all of them stepped up. Forgot about Dre taking on the only Kyle left in the league. Who do you have here?
I'm gonna go with Dre.
That's fair.
But we all know Kyle's capable of beating him, you know. But playing the odds here, I'm gonna go with Dre.
I just think Nick's team is better than Kyle's, so I'm gonna go with Nick. Um, but this is a good opportunity for Kyle to kind of show that he belongs at the top at the top of the league, you know. So a big win here would do a lot to change how his team is viewed in a lot of GM's eyes, I think. But I think Nick takes this. Casey versus Patches. Who do you have here?
Oh, this is a tough one. Hmm. I'm gonna go with Patches on this one, but I think it's gonna be tight.
Yep. I can see why you might think Patches might win. He has a solid roster, but who knows who he's gonna deal throughout the week. This guy's been in mostly sell mode. I'm gonna put my faith in pure ass again. 3-1 and 1. He did something no one else did, and that was beat Braden.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna give my faith to Casey and until that bites me in the ass here. Bites me in the pure ass. Sauce Pass taking on Zvech Me a Drink. Who do you have here?
Oh, Dan's been on a slide the last couple of weeks. Corey's been on the uprise.
I don't know about that. 2-3 versus 2-3.
Yeah, he played Neil last week. You got smoked by Neil. I'm gonna go with a tie.
Oh, I like that. Like you can't choose who's worse. They just say they're both equally bad. Uh,
Yeah, they're
I'm
both
gonna
not gonna win.
I'm gonna give the edge to Corey. I don't really have a reason. I'm just going with my gut here. I feel like Corey is due for a good week. And like I said, I feel out of the two teams, like they were both playoff teams last year, I feel Dan's is a little worse. So I'm just going to give the edge to Corey. Although I feel your tie call is probably close.
Yeah, we'll see how this plays out.
Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town, trying to enjoy a Braden bye week after a big victory. Who do you got here?
You know, it's true. It's true what you said. I can't beat a 10-year-old. Uh, however, he's going against the Braden bye week. I'm gonna have to go with Braden. I don't think Travis gets lucky 2 weeks in a row, but maybe he'll prove me wrong. Maybe I'm just firing him up.
I was laughing earlier when I was calculating the results of predictions. Like I don't remember ever writing Braden's name down this much. Um,
It's so true.
It's so true, but it's like, you know, his team is actually solid this year. He's actually paying attention, so um, it's hard not to pick him when he's been winning. So I'm gonna pick him to beat Travis's trash team. I mean, Ash Ketchum from Pallet Town. So hopefully, you know, Braden comes through for us. Sorokin these nuts taking on Captain Crunch. Who do you have here?
Uh, it's hard not to pick Neil, man. He's been killing it. So, Cam Crunch has a good team. Neil has better goaltending, and I think between Neil's goaltending and his ability to take a few player categories, that'll be enough to beat Cam Crunch.
I think this is going to be my match of the week to watch to pay attention to. Not because I think Domo is has like this excellent team, right? We all know how I feel about Domo, but he has a strategy that he will do what it takes to get those man games and win. So it's going to put up a really good fight against a team like Neil, whose team's pretty much established. So I think it's gonna be a really good matchup to watch. But I am going to go with Neil. I think Neil will come out victorious in the end. Team Rocket taking on Sean, the Zabana jihadist. Who do you have here?
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the strategy of the new GM of Team Rocket is going to be here. Uh, but Sean has been really unimpressive, and but Team Rocket just lost to Travis, so this is a tough one to call. But I think Team Rocket is going to be motivated after losing to a 10-year-old boy, so I'm going to give it to Team Rocket.
I hope so. Um, just losing to Travis, that's embarrassing. But I'm gonna go with you with sorry Team Rocket. Just because I want to keep seeing Sean lose and kind of sink towards the bottom here. He's so close to that golden cock. I bet he can taste it. Um, so I'm gonna go with Team Rocket here to get the win. Uh, Maybe not because I think his team's the one team's better than the other, just more because wishful thinking. Well, we are running out of time. We did a pretty good job fitting it all into one video this week. Um, do you have any closing statements, Kyle?
Um, yeah, I'm out of the league. I'm just a commentator now, and just want to wish good luck to the new GM of Team Rocket,
Sean, right?
Sean. Yeah, and we have a Sean versus Sean fight here. So I just want to say, go fuck yourself, Sean.
Well, thank you for joining me, buddy. It's always a pleasure talking hockey. Thanks for watching, guys, because I know you don't get too much thrilling things going on in your life that you have to watch us talk about hockey and how trash your teams are. But it's just a fun league. We put this on for fun, and hopefully you guys enjoy it as much as we enjoy making it. But good luck, everyone, this week. Except for you, Derek. Go fuck yourself.